This documentary is about Mutare, the diamond city of Zimbabwe. Mutare is the third largest city in Zimbabwe with an urban population of about 200,000 and a rural population of about 260,000. Mutare is the capital of Manicaland province and can be found on the eastern border with Mozambique. This is the toll gate coming into Mutare just after Odzi.
Makomo kwa Mutare tichitamba chishare tichitamba na makitare amai vaizotidaidza shena yazara mukanwa techitamba bora ndebe yechitambwa namugoma rakaraka yemasista oh ada kutamba kinova kwa Mutare makomo kuzimbabwe dinova kuzimbabwe kwa Mutare.
A lot can be found in Mutare. 2 teachers' colleges, Marymount Teachers College and Mutare Teachers College, Africa University and Mutare Technical College. Mutare Sports Club hosts cricket and rugby. Every year, the City Council hosts a Mutare Agricultural Show. Over 200 exhibitors showcase their products. There is also entertainment in the form of live shows and performances. Schools compete in the drum majorettes, and there's performances from the police. A lot of residents do come out and support the show, which is on over the weekend from Friday to Sunday. Braai is a very common in Mutare with lots of places you can go. Places like Pamanyati. Nando's is also available. The nightlife is okay for a small city, with places like Moto Moto, Barcode, and 263 attracting all the residents. If clubbing is not your thing, you can always just go to the local bar and play drafts and foosball with the locals.
Right now in terms of ball possession, Mr. Mahoya Chelsea is losing to Manchester United right there, as you can see. Mami is quiet.
Guys, stop there.
I'm going to go to the restaurant. I'm going to go to the restaurant.
people in Mutare are very friendly. You are met with smiles and a beautiful accent. Mutare and Manicaland are also known for their tourist destinations. The Vumba, which includes Leopard Rock Hotel and the Forest Hill Lodge. The Vumba is a very unique place. It has its own microclimate and receives a lot of rainfall. You can find Nyachua Falls in Vumba, where people come to relax and hang out. Other tourist destinations in Manicaland include Chipinge via Birchneff Bridge. You have to try the local delicacy, roasted quillia bird. Other places include Honde Valley, Nyanga, and Chimanimani. Unfortunately, in 2019, a cyclone hit Chimanimani. Thousands of people were killed and some are still missing. It is the biggest disaster to ever hit Manicaland. Hey, Chimanimani. Yeah. Azibinogadaro. Yes, we're on our way to Chimanimani. So we managed to I was raising some money on GoFund for a school in the affected area of the cyclone Idai. So we're going there now. They asked us to buy a lot of books, A4 and A5s books for the school. So we went and we bought 500 euros worth of US worth of books. So yeah, me and my cousins are on the way. Thank you to everyone who sponsored. Very nice of you. Hopefully we'll do some more projects later on. Other interesting projects in Manicaland include the Chipendeke Mini Hydro Project, funded by the European Union and facilitated by an organization called Practical Action. It provides electricity to 50 households, including businesses, a clinic and a primary school. Mr. Noah Senga is the Secretary General and the spokesperson for the Chipendeke Mini Hydro Project. In September 2006, they discovered diamond in Chiazwa, 60 kilometers from Mutare. There had been some earth tremors, which brought minerals up to the surface. Villagers were literally picking them up with their bare hands. This started a diamond rush with everyone going to Chiazwa for their opportunity. There were reports of locals carrying sacks of precious stone. A lot of people left their jobs for a life in the diamond fields. People didn't have to dig far once all the surface diamonds had been collected. Buyers started to come in from the Lebanon Nigeria, India, South Africa, and Guinea. Government officials also became buyers. There was a lot of confusion and lack of knowledge on the actual value of the stones. This gave the buyer all the power and all the profit. There was raw uncut diamond and clear diamond. Small-scale miners called gwedjas are the ones who do the digging in the ground. They got the tail end of the deal because for what they sold the diamonds for, they were worth a whole lot more. Some locals exchanged their minerals for bicycles, televisions, solar panels, very small things, leaving the buyer to make all the profit. Between 2006 and 2008, this was the peak of the diamond rush. This impacted Mutare in a lot of ways. Prices went up dramatically in supermarkets, for fuel, for rentals, and at one point in time a 6-pack of beer was worth $20. Gwedjas and merchants from Chiadzwa came into Mutare with a lot of cash, US dollars, therefore causing the price increase. Hotels and lodges in the whole of Mutare were always fully booked. Some diamond dealers rented out entire floors for months and some for years. Youths that were unemployed rushed to Chiadzwa. So people who had never held tens of thousands of dollars all of a sudden found themselves with thousands and thousands of dollars. Car sales went up. People with no knowledge of driving, no licenses, literally walked off the street to buy brand new cars. They would buy automatic cars. Mutare was booming, it was madness. Mutare residents didn't mind the high prices because everybody could afford. Mutare was experiencing its own economic boom. Rental properties went up and hotels and lodges were full. There was a lot of importing of ex-Japanese cars, the popular ones being the Toyota Mac 2 and the Corolla Sprinter. Brand new Mercedes-Benz were common in Mutare. Car dealers from Harare moved to Mutare. As a result of the diamonds, the lifestyle in Mutare changed. A lot of people lived the high roller life. International artists like Brick and Lace came to perform in Mutare for private functions. Beautiful models were being shipped in from Harare and South Africa. It was very common to make it rain in the club, throwing around $100 bills. There is a story of a well-known gwedja who booked out a 5-star hotel to the annoyance of politicians who were trying to book a conference for that weekend. The government eventually stepped in to put an end to the diamond rush. Initially, the police were sent out to Chiadzwa, but they were unable to control the gwedjas, and the army was sent in. The diamond rush continued all through to 2010. The government would eventually shut it down. Anyone seen in the diamond fields was arrested or shot. Even with this threat to their lives, gwedjas continued to go to Chiadzwa. Some had syndicates with the army. As much as the diamonds benefited Mutare, there was a downside to them. Some even called it a curse upon the city. Young girls at a tender age were being attracted to the lifestyle, leading to early marriages and early pregnancies. HIV rates went up, and a lot of youngsters lost their way. Everybody wanted to make it rain and live in the American lifestyle. All this promiscuous behavior led to a lot of failed marriages and a lot of failed families. Ladies of the night were being brought from Harare to work full-time in Mutare. There was a lot of deceiving and conning of each other. It was very hard to know who to trust. Corruption levels went up with everybody being able to pay their way through. People were reckless with money. They were handling funds they had never handled in their whole lives. By 2010, the government had a hold on the situation. No one was allowed to enter Chiadzwa. A lot of people had lost out and had nothing to show for it. The only people who benefited was those who invested in properties and businesses. The people on the ground did not benefit from this God-sent mineral. Since the beginning of the diamond rush in 2006, there was absolutely no development in the city. You guys, it's just a select few. You're looting our country. Diamond, Mutare, ndobva Mutare nini. Kana send chair rakapinda mu Ministry of Finance. Kana kugadzira road, kana pamusika paya kana nothing. Mungotora ma diamonds mungotsenda pakunepa sabona Mozambique. Mudila nemachina muchipiwa mari muchisa muhumwe. But vanhu vari kusafa, vanhu munomirira, vanhu vekumisha, vanhu location, vanhu masaba munhu yese is suffering. And you guys are just sitting pretty. Ndo zvinonetsa vanhu vakanokura vasina vana mukawaisa position, they abuse that position one. Anditika saka alright tauda chigadzisa nyika kuti wana wedu wakuru enazo kuti ivo vakura they will do something constructive one, because haungatanzi kumwana chona mupurisa chipatara parod, it's normal and everyone anongozvona kunga zviri normal, but it's not normal because mupurisa anofanira kunge ari munhu wemutemo. But izvo itoseka ndakaenda kuZimbabwe ndikatoshamisikawo vanhu vachitiza mapurisa, but ndakatoguma ndakuwatizawo usamira parod block because unomirira chiari kuda kuguma anongokutsvakira mhochana ndipe mari yeko. Inyika yakaita seko iyo, zvipatara hamuna mushonga, handiti vanhu vari kufa every day. Madhara ane mari vari kurara nevana vadiki 16 years old. Now everyone is just impure. Hapasina purity yabuda munyika medu, hapasina. Society, the whole country is screwed politically, economically and socially. I grew up in Mutare, so I know people personally who live this diamond life. There's a lot of regret right now. Young people in their 20s, they had fleets of cars, houses around Mutare, girlfriends after girlfriends, big spenders in the clubs, making it rain. Now it's all a lot of regret. I'm sure there's a lot of people in Mutare right now, if we were to go back, would do things a whole lot differently. And this is when you realize that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that would not happen anywhere else in Zimbabwe and likely anywhere else in the world. When it's all said and done, Mutare is still a beautiful place, full of beautiful people. I'm Zimbabwean through and through, whether I lived outside the country, we live in a global village where people travel. I got to travel, got to go to America, went all over Europe, that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, it's where you're born and where you're raised, where you imprint as a teen, as a kid. And that's, for me, that's Zimbabwe, and it's a very, very beautiful country. I advise people, if you're from abroad, you've never been to Zimbabwe, I definitely advise you to come to Zimbabwe. It's a very, very beautiful country. The people are friendly. I'm friendly, Vana Summers.
Well, it's the man named Spots and the boy and the original Natty the boy representing Fikanako music straight out and go that town. DJ Tamuka can burn it down. Lighter! Back up your bumper. Lighter! My baby back up your bumper.
Fikanako music.
Back up your bumper. My baby back up your bumper.
Damn, she's so beautiful. I like the way that her body go. Oh God, damn, she's so beautiful. I like the way that her body go. Akabata nonga pita tamuka. She make me feel irate, and she's trying out the Zimbabwe. Hakuna kana mwaka idasa ye. Oh natural beauty and a natural way. Kunaka kwake kungengios, akanaka kungepions. Kufamba kwake sensinos, oh akanaka kungepions. Hakuna kana mwaka idasa ye. And her body too tight, that's my Zimbo girl. That is how she smile, that beautiful smile. She got that ding 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 in her body when she walk. She have to look like she white. Watch out, hakuna kana mwaka idasa.
Summers. Oh, Summers. Oh, Summers.
Yeah!
Oh, Summers.
Summers.
Summers. Oh.